Hey everyone, it's Kelsey from Hungry Crafty Kelsey, and today I'm coming to you with how to make a loaded bag. So the other day I did a tutorial on how to make Christmas tags using paper punches. So I did show a loaded paper bag that I made, and I did say I was going to make a tutorial if someone was interested. And I mentioned how I didn't like the glue that I used because it kind of made it bumpy. But I have since used a different glue. And I'm here to tell you all the measurements that you need to make a loaded paper bag like this. And I have made a couple other samples that I think you will like even more. These ones aren't decorated, but here is this one. This one is a seahorse theme, and I did the stripe that is right here on the sides. In the back, I did two small pockets, and I really like this style because then you can add like little items in the back. You're really using up the space on your bag. This one has to be my favorite. I love, love, love this one. I used a paper pad called May Your Days Be Merry by the Paper Studio from Hobby Lobby, and I just love this one. And I have this stripe on the side, and again I have the two pockets where you can add little items. I just love this one. Then I have this one right here, and I used a plaid paper pad, and I forget the name of this one, but I will try to put it in the description. These are two different paper pads, but I kind of liked how they look together. And they're both by the Paper Studio, so it does make sense that you will get similar colors within different paper pads. That's the side paper that I added. And on the back, again, I put the two pockets. So I really love this one too. And sticking with the plaid and decorative paper theme, this one I did a little different. I did a different background paper on the back, but I stuck to the same plaid paper. So there's that, and the different background paper. And I did that because the paper pad that I used was an 8.5 by 11 paper pad, and you're not able to get two of the background paper from one sheet of the paper from the paper pad. So I decided let's just do two different ones. So that's how I came up with that. So there's that. And today we are going to be making a ocean themed one. I'm using coral paper and this like mermaid scale or fish scale paper. And I'm gonna add a little bit of different elements to it. I'm going to be adding this to it, and you're gonna see what I'm going to do with that as we make our paper. So the first thing that you need is just a paper lunch bag. This is just a standard size paper lunch bag. This is the brand that I used. It's Simply Done. I'm not sure where you can get it around where you live. I live in Connecticut, and a big grocery store is called Big Y, and that is where I purchased it. I'm not sure if they sell this brand in other places, but I got 100 bags for $2, and this is the size of them. But the size of them, when I cut my paper, it's going to be different than the size that it says on the package of the bags. First thing you want to do though with your bag is you want to glue this flap down. So this is the flap that basically opens up your bag to make it into a paper bag. Well, I don't want it to open like that, so we are going to glue that down. So I'm just going to take some glue. I'm just going to, if if my glue will work. Doesn't seem to want to work. Let's try this side. Okay. So we're just going to glue it down like that. And now you want to cut all your pattern papers. You are going to need 2 sheets of paper that measure 5 inches by 10 3/4 inches. So that's 5 inches by 10 3/4. If you want to do the pockets the same exact way that I have, you're going to need 1 piece of paper that is 5 inches by 4.5 inches and 2 pieces of paper that is 5 inches by 3 inches. And then for the sides, you will also need 2 pieces of paper that is 3 inches by 9 1/4 inches. So again, that's 2 papers that is 5 inches by 10 3/4 inches, 1 paper that is 5 inches by 4.5 inches, 2 papers that's 5 inches by 3 inches, and 1 paper that is 3 inches by 9 1/4 inches. So let's get started on what you need to do. I have already glued on one side because that's not something that you really need to watch me do twice because it's pretty simple. What I like to do is I like to use a wet glue. I don't like using this glue for that because then it gives me this kind of bumpy texture. I did not like that. So what I'm using is I'm just using this Aleene's tacky glue, and I'm using a paintbrush, and I'm going to basically paintbrush this on. So I'm going to start with just a little bit on the bottom of the paper, and I'm going to line up my paper with the bottom of my bag. And you're just going to add glue as you go. So I'm just going to make sure that it's basically centered. And you can use like a tape glue, like a tape runner glue, but I like doing it this way because the wet glue kind of gives it stiffer, more sturdy look, and it gives you a little more time to fix things if you mess up. So what I'm just going to be doing is I'm going to slowly add glue. I'm just taking big globs of glue and painting it on basically. I'm going to spread it as much as I can. And this actually goes by faster than what you would think, and it helps me not really waste paper. So it may use a lot of glue, but it's still a little bit of glue compared to what you use when you squeeze it out. Because you're spreading it so far, and you're doing a very thin layer of glue. So I'm actually almost done putting this down. Okay. And this really helps me position the paper the best that I can onto this paper bag. And it really does make it stiffer and seem not so flimsy. Because these paper bags aren't really the thickest. So it really does help as far as making it sturdier. Okay. So now it is basically done. Did it off just a little bit. So like I said, this wet glue really helps you align your paper properly. So just want to make sure that it is. So now I have my paper on both sides. It is time to add the pockets, or you can add the sides. I'm going to add the pockets first. So the first one I'm going to do is the 5" by 4.5" pocket. I will be using this glue to adhere that. And we're just going to put, if you have a directional design, make sure you're doing it the right way. You're just going to put glue on 3 sides. And it seems I already forgot that that glue is not helping. Let's see if this glue works. Okay. Oops. This glue is not very good for doing big spaces. I'm horrible at making a straight line. I'm just gonna go where my finger touched. Okay, and then we're just going to put this, align it to the bottom and to the sides of your paper, and you're gonna press down. Just to make sure that that sticks. Now we're gonna go on to the other side, and we're gonna basically lay down our pockets to see where we want to put them. I think about there is good. So I do leave a little space on the bottom, and I try to make these spaces even. So again, if you have a directional design, just make sure you're putting glue on the right sides. This is probably my least favorite part of this project, is putting the glue on the pockets. I do not have a loaded paper bag ready to show you, but I am going to load mine with some paper tags and rosettes and all sorts of fun things to give to my swap partner. So I'm going to place that down about there. And I'm going to do this one real quickly. Then we're going to move on to the sides. and then we'll be done. And the great thing about this is that you can make it any design that you want. Just any paper really makes it really fun. So you can see how I made it very Christmassy, and then I went and I'm making a sea theme. I'm like super horrible at doing this. This is like awful. I do not have a steady hand at all. It also doesn't help that I have to press really hard on this bottle to get the glue to come out. Okay. So I'm going to put it about right here. And we're going to glue it down. And then you're all done with your pockets. They will have an opening on top. This one's not dry enough for me to really do anything to show you. We're going to go on to our sides. So you need 2 pieces of paper that is 3 inches by 9 1/4 inches. What you're going to do with this paper is you're just going to pinch it, meet the 2 ends of the paper, and we're just going to fold. I'm going to do the same on this side. Pinch it where the 2 ends meet, and you're folding just in the center of the paper. The long way though, you're going to fold it the long way. And you basically just run your finger along or use a bone folder to make that crease nice and tight and flat and sharp, I guess is what you would say. So I already did that with another one. So I have 2 pieces of paper that are 3 inches by 9 1/4 inches, folded in half the long way. We are going to now glue this onto the side of our bag. So again, I'm going to take my paintbrush with my glue. And if you have a better glue, you can definitely use that. You can use your tape runner, as I said before, but there's basically no forgiveness in tape runners, especially with a project where you kind of want to make sure that you line things up. That's kind of when you want to use a wet glue. So, who's excited for Christmas? I know it's only July, but I want Christmas to be here. I love Christmas. Okay, so now you're going to take your... I only did 1/2 of this paper. The other half is still dry. I'm going to take the wet half, and I'm going to basically line it up with the top of the bag. I'm going to put the fold where the fold of the bag is, and we're going to press. And then I'm just going to keep this open, and I'm just going to add glue. So in this part, it goes by pretty fast when you're doing that. Then basically all you have to do is press down, and it will kind of be in the right spot because you align the center with the fold of the bag, if you can see that. So, and if your corners didn't get glued down, you can go over that little bit of glue. Make sure that the corners are glued down. So I'm just gonna do the other side very quickly, and then we're gonna be done with our bag. Well, not quite done. I'm gonna decorate it. I'm gonna do one thing that is different than any of the other bags that I have done, and this is kind of like an idea that you can do with your bags. I don't know if you have any papers that have those border pages on them, but my Feeling Naughty paper pad from Michaels has a page where it has all these like thin borders that you can cut apart and add to your pages. Well, I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the ones from my paper pad. So we're going to make this just really nautical looking. We're going to add to it and kind of decorate it, and I'm going to add something that you might not have thought of for a project like this. I know some people probably wouldn't have thought of to put 2 pockets on the back, but I wanted to use up my scrap paper. That's why I did that. I had so much paper left over after making 1 pocket that I kind of wanted to use it up. Okay, so now we're done with the bag basically. What I'm going to do, this is one of the borders that I had from my paper pad. I cut it into 5-inch strips, and this is like a border that's like an inch thick, I want to say. Yeah, it's about an inch thick. I'm going to put that on the bottom of each pocket, but I'm not going to glue the whole thing. Again, I'm just going to glue the edges of it, and we're going to make like a little tuck pocket. So we're just going to do that real quickly, hopefully quickly. All depends on how fast my glue wants to come out. I'm just going to take that, line it up with your paper, and press it down. I'm going to do it again with this one. And this is a really fun way to use up those borders, especially like the thicker borders that you may not want to use for your paper projects. So just make them into a pocket. And again, I'm going to put that down here. And now we have 2 little tuck pockets right here, as well as this pocket, and then the pocket in the front. I'm just going to add some really fun design elements to this. This is actually a border that I cut into, I don't know, like 2.5 inch, 2 1/4 inch, and it's by just over 1 inch. So I'm just gonna put some glue on there. And then I have this, and this was a border as well. And I'm gonna put some glue on there as well. We're just going to glue those. I'm just going to make sure that the glue is all spread to the edges. We're going to glue that on here. And there you go. You have a cute little loaded bag. Well, you have the start of a loaded bag. You have the bag, and now it's just, all you have to do is load it. And this is a really fun craft swap idea. I love it. Or if you wanted to give a gift to someone, you can make your own little loaded bag and just add all the presents to it. And it's just really fun. And I really love this idea. And so I wanted to share how to make it. So if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below and I will be happy to answer you. And I hope to see you again in my next tutorial. And if you have any ideas of what kind of paper craft item that you want me to attempt to make, please leave your suggestions below. And have a great day. All right, bye.